Alright, let's talk about love stories. We all know the classic tropes, the forbidden romance, the disapproving parents, the dramatic escape into the sunset. It's the stuff of fairy tales and Hollywood blockbusters. But what if I told you that one of the most badass, most modern, most sticky-to-the-man love story ever told actually happened over 2,000 years ago in Han Dynasty, China? This story has everything. A brilliant, beautiful heiress trapped in a golden cage. A handsome, smooth-talking but dirt-poor literators. A secret elopement. And the best part, it doesn't end with Prince and Princess live a happy life ever after. It begins with our heroine rolling up her sleeves, opening a bar, and use her business savvy to publicly shame her mega-rich father into submission. Forget Romeo and Juliet. This is the story of Zhuo Wenjun, the original girl boss who proved that the best way to win a family argument is to become your family's biggest business competitor. Fans who watched the previous episode might know it's time for the beer. Here's the commercial break.
Welcome to my tavern and watch this channel. They bring you echoes across history. Bottoms up, here we go.
Our story takes place in the bustling, prosperous city of Linzhong, near modern-day Chengdu. And at the very top of the social ladder is the Zhuo family. Think of them as the Rockefellers or the Vanderbilts of their time. The patriarch, Zhuo Wenjun, was an iron tycoon, fabulously, ridiculously wealthy. And his most prized treasure was his daughter, Zhuo Wenjun. Wenjun wasn't just rich, she was the complete package. She was renowned for her beauty, but more importantly, for her sharp mind and incredible talent. She was a gifted musician and a brilliant writer in her own right. She was also, unfortunately, a young widow. After a brave arranged marriage, her husband had passed away, and she had moved back into her father's sprawling mansion to live a life of quiet, respectable, and mind-numbingly boring mourning. Her days were the predictable cycle of embroidery and polite conversation. Her future was probably another strategic marriage to some other boring rich guy, overwhelmed by the luxurious lifestyle. I don't want this kind of life at all, neither. Please trust me. She was living in a gilded cage, and she knew it. Meanwhile, a new face arrives in town. His name is Sima Xiangru. And if there was ever a man with chaotic good energy in the Han Dynasty, it was him. Xiangru was a literary superstar and a literature of such dazzling talent that his works were famous throughout the empire. He was handsome, charismatic, incredibly intelligent, and had a way with words that could charm the birds from the trees. He had just one tiny, insignificant problem. He was broke. Like, sell your last rope for the drink broke. After a brief stint in the capital didn't pan out, he'd returned to his hometown. His only assets being his dazzling intellect and a whole lot of confidence. The local magistrate, a huge fan of Xiangru's literature, was thrilled to have a celebrity in his town. He insisted on inviting Xiangru to every single important banquet, hoping to show him off. And the biggest, most lavish banquet of all was, of course, being held at the mansion of the iron tycoon Zhuo Wenjun. The night of the party, Sima Xiangru makes a grand entrance. He's borrowed a fancy carriage and looks every bit the part of a sophisticated gentleman. Zhuo Wenjun, the host, is initially impressed. Zhuo Wenjun, being a respectable widow, wasn't supposed to be in the manhole at that time. She was hidden behind the screen, observing the festivities. And then the magistrate, wanting to show off his famous friend, hands Sima Xiangru a guqin, the ancient Chinese theater. "Playing something for us, great master," he says. This was the moment. Sima Xiangru knew Wenjun was behind that screen. He knew her reputation as a fellow music lover. He wasn't just playing for a crowd of stuffy businessmen. He was playing for an audience of one. He launches into a song he wrote called "Feng Qiu Huang," the phoenix seeks his mate. The lyrics are anything but implicit. It's a passionate, direct, and beautiful declaration of love, singing of a lonely phoenix searching for his perfect partner. Behind that screen, Wenjun's heart stops. She's a brilliant musician. She understands every nuance, every chord, every hidden meaning. This isn't just a performance, it's a message sent directly to her. This incredibly talented, handsome stranger was singing about her. In that moment, the boring, predictable world of her gilded cage was shattered by this unexpected, talented, and nationally renowned hero. Sima Xiangru, ever the smooth operator, bribed one of Wenjun's handmaidens to pass messages back and forth after the party. A flurry of secret notes confirmed their mutual attraction. They were intellectually and artistically soulmates. But there was a problem. Her father, Zhuo Wenjun, would never in a million years approve his prized daughter marrying a penniless scholar. No matter how famous he was, it was a business non-starter. So, Zhuo Wenjun made a choice that would have been unthinkable for the woman of her status. She decided she wasn't going to ask for permission. She was going to take her happiness into her own hands. One moonlit night, she packed a small bag snuck out of her father's fortress-like mansion and ran away with Sima Xiangru. They eloped. Her father, Zhuo Wenjun, was apoplectic. This was public scandal of epic proportions. His daughter hadn't just defied him, she had humiliated him. In a fit of rage, he publicly disowned her. "She will not get a single coin from me," he declared. The new couple, now in Xiangru's hometown of Chengdu, quickly discovered that you can't pay the bill with poetry. They were happy, but they were poor. Sima Xiangru's grand total of worldly possession was 4 bare walls. Now, a lesser woman might have regretted her choice. She might have gone clawing back to her father. But Zhuo Wenjun was not a lesser woman. She was a pragmatic, iron-willed businesswoman, just like her father she had defied. She looked at their situation and came up with a plan, a brilliant, audacious, and gloriously petty plan. "We are going back," she told her husband, "back to my hometown of Lincheng." They sold their last fancy carriage, bought a small, humble wine shop, and set up business. And there's the genius part. They opened their shop right down the street from her father's mansion. This wasn't just any wine shop, this was a performance. Sima Xiangru, the great man of letters, was put in charge of washing the dishes, wearing nothing but a humble apron. And Zhuo Wenjun, the delicate, refined heiress, stood behind the bar, personally boiling wine for the rowdy soldiers and the common laborers. She wasn't hiding in shame, she was walking publicly, proudly. And the news spread like wildfire. "Have you heard? The daughter of the great Zhuo Wenjun is serving wine in the tavern." Everyone in town came to gawk and then consumed. It was the ultimate reality TV show of the Han Dynasty. Her father was mortified. He was the laughingstock of the entire city. His friend would come to him and say, "Dude, you have a daughter. You should probably do something about this. It's a bad look." Wenjun had already married Sima Xiangru. Penniless was him, but his talent was reliable. Besides, he was a guest of the magistrate. Why should they cause such embarrassment to him? It was extremely bothersome. Zhuo Wenjun boarded up his mansion and refused to go outside. So deep was his shame. This was Zhuo Wenjun's checkmate. She hadn't begged, she hadn't cried, she had used the power of public opinion and her own hard work to corner him. She proved that she didn't need his money to survive, she could make her own. All the way well cared for in her life, but she also shows the excellent ability to adapt and be flexible. Finally, her father cracked. He couldn't take the humiliation anymore. As the wealthiest person in Linchong and placed the greatest emphasis on the family's reputation, he gave in, sending Wenjun a massive dowry, 1,000,000 coins, 100 servants, and all the finery she had left behind. He publicly accepted her marriage. Wenjun knew well that if she remained trapped in Chengdu, she would only sink deeper into poverty, and that might even shake her relationship with Sima Xiangru. Instead, by returning to Linchong and adopting a step-back posture to seize the initiative, she could turn her passive predicament into a bargaining chip. She had won on her own terms. The couple, now wealthy, moved back to Chengdu and lived a comfortable life. Their story wasn't without its bumps. Sima Xiangru later got a little taste of fame. His status can be regarded today as Senior Presidential Envoy and Brigadier General level Special Commissioner. He briefly considered taking a concubine, but Wenjun wrote him such a heartbreakingly beautiful and good in choosing poem that he immediately changed his mind. White as mountain snow that never melts, bright as moonbeams piercing silver cloud. Your wandering heart, how keenly felt, I came to break our sacred vow. Even in matters of the heart, her weapon of choice was her intellect. Their story became a legend, evidence to love, courage, and a healthy dose of entrepreneurial spite. What makes Zhuo Wenjun so incredibly compelling, even today, is that she refused to be a passive character in her own life story. She was born into a world where her fate was supposed to be decided by her father or her husband, but she demanded to be the author of her own destiny. When faced with poverty, she didn't see a tragedy, she saw a business and a sidewalk opportunity. When faced with family disapproval, she didn't back down, she raised the stakes. When faced with a relationship crisis, she didn't throw a tantrum and resort to emotional blackmail. She knew how to grasp the heart of the scholar she loves. She was a woman who understood her own worth, both as a person and as a partner. Today, we celebrate the independence and achievements of modern women. But looking back at the story of Zhuo Wenjun, who lived over 2 millennia ago, you can't help but smile. Her life was already a masterclass in romance, elegance, sheer and modern feeling audacity. She wasn't just a poet's muse, she was the hero of her own epic love story.
If you're inspired by stories of courage and independence, subscribe and become an angel investor for echoes across history. And don't forget to share it with the one you love.